From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 530 News.
Hi, everybody. Scott Breen at Dealer Park for the Mustangs have unveiled their latest summer schedule. 96 games, more than ever. We'll tell you what's next for your Mustangs straight ahead.
Plus, 35 years ago today, a moment in time that will never be forgotten. We have an up-close look back at the Challenger space shuttle disaster. And a man who allegedly beat and tried to abduct a 20-year-old woman near Lockwood and then led law enforcement on a high-speed chase down I-94 pleads not guilty to 10 charges. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Jeanelle Slade. Well, that suspect charged with 7 felonies, and the judge set bond at $1 million. A bizarre series of events this morning in Yellowstone County District Court. That's because the suspect, 34-year-old Terry Smith, told the court he couldn't see his attorney because deputies broke his glasses during the arrest. So the judge had Smith transported to the courtroom, where again, he said he couldn't read the charging documents. Now, once the documents were read to him, Smith pleaded not guilty to all 10 charges, ranging from aggravated kidnapping, assault on a peace officer, and possession of dangerous drugs. Now, what led to these charges and today's court appearance is even more bizarre. Dangerous and life-threatening, downright scary. It all started, prosecutors say, when Smith tried to pull over a young woman near Lockwood. Q2's Shaquille Cozart picks up the story and details from here.
Started as someone waving a young woman down on the road, quickly turned into her fighting for her life. Court documents state that a 20-year-old woman was driving here near Yellowstone Trail and Dickey Road when she noticed a maroon-colored Subaru driving closely behind her. The suspect, later identified as Smith, waved her down. When she didn't pull over, he drove up next to her car into oncoming traffic to do so. That's when Smith crashed into her front fender, sending both vehicles off the road and blocking the woman's car from driving forward. The young woman backed up to escape and hit a tree. The woman was able to kick her door open and exit the car, but Smith grabbed her by the hair, punched her in the face, slammed her head against the car, and strangled her. The young woman asked Smith why he was doing this. He replied he needed her for something. Then he proceeded to force her into the car and told her that he was going to slit her throat. The woman escaped out of the passenger door, only to be pulled back into the car by her hair. It's only then that another motorist pulled up, the victim escaped, and then they both sped off, leaving the victim now with physical and emotional wounds.
All right, thanks so much, Shaq. And of course, it didn't end there. Thanks, Shaq. And of course, it did not end there. Deputies later located the stolen vehicle heading down Pryor Creek Road. Now, Smith then moved onto I-94 and the high-speed pursuit ensued at speeds of 110 miles per hour. Now, prosecutors say 105 cars had to swerve around Smith as he traveled the wrong way on Interstate 94. A failed pit maneuver landed his vehicle in the ditch, but he got back on the interstate the wrong way, where he was finally stopped by spike strips, chased down and tased by deputies at the Pompey's Pillar exit. Well, the largest ever Canadian border meth bust played out between Canada and Montana. $28.5 million of methamphetamine was discovered on December 25th across from the port of Sweetgrass in Toole County. Canadian officers pulled over a semi-truck hauling produce and uncovered 228 kilograms of meth. That's about 2 million individual doses. A 38-year-old Calgary man is now in jail. Well, Billings police are asking for your help tonight to locate a missing woman. 38-year-old Lauren Ironhawk was last seen on January 15th at the Magic Diamond Casino. Her family reported her missing a week later. Ironhawk is described as Native American, 5'8", 160 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. Ironhawk has tattoos on both wrists and on her chest. In other news tonight, Florida Republican Representative Matt Gaetz held a rally in Cheyenne, Wyoming today against Liz Cheney.
I'll confess to you, this is my first time in Wyoming. I've been here for about an hour, and I feel like I already know the place a lot better than your misguided representative, Liz Cheney.
Gaetz is hoping to create backlash against the number 3 House Republican after she voted to impeach former President Donald Trump for inciting the riot at the U.S. Capitol. Now, Cheney was one of only 10 Republicans who voted to impeach the former president. Gaetz is one of a few Republicans who has positioned himself as a bearer of the former president's brand, saying last week he believes We ought to embrace the spirit and style of President Trump.
My old man calls it prairie populism. Do right by your people. Never sell out. Fight their dislikes. And never let the powerful run over the weak.
And Montana Representative Matt Rosendale is also one of the Republicans working to oust Cheney from her leadership role. Well, tonight, Governor Greg Gianforte will deliver his first State of the State address. How Montana will recover economically from the pandemic is expected to be a focus. The governor says his administration is managing COVID-19 well right now, but tonight he wants to focus on the future of Montana and the resiliency of its citizens. This morning on Montana This Morning here at Q2, Governor Gianforte talked about the changes he made to the vaccine rollout.
Guidelines we got from the CDC were confusing and complicated. We simplified them and said, I think we can all agree we ought to keep those people that are most vulnerable safe by getting them the vaccine first. So that's what we've prioritized. I'm hopeful that as we get this vaccine out, we're going to be able to take our masks off, throw them in the trash can, and go on with our lives safely. And I think that's going to happen sooner rather than later.
Now you can watch the State of the State address live at 7 o'clock on the Q2 streaming app or on the Q2 Facebook page. Another 22 COVID-19 related deaths to report across Montana today. That brings the state total to 1,225. One of those deaths is here in Yellowstone County and 2 in Rosebud County. An audit at the state level added another 14 victims from Flathead County. Those deaths are a culmination over the past few months. Well, Yellowstone County receives about 2,000 doses of COVID-19 vaccine each week, which is well under the number of people who want to take it. The Billings Chamber of Commerce hosted a tele-town hall meeting this afternoon to get people more educated about the process. While the whole state of Montana receives about 13,000 doses each week, the doses delivered to Billings are split among Billings Clinic, St. Vincent Healthcare, and Riverstone Health. Today, Yellowstone County Health Officer John Felton talked about herd immunity combined with vaccination.
You really need to be talking up in the range of 70% of the population. That's not an absolute number. It's not like a light switch that you hit that and it changes. But 70% of the population of Yellowstone County, big round numbers, is a little north of 100,000. And we have right now about 3,000 that would be considered fully vaccinated. We have another 15,000 that have been ill and at least been exposed that we know of. So we have a ways to go.
John Felton says about 14,000 have received the first dose and about 3,200 people here in Yellowstone County have received the second dose and are fully vaccinated. Well, your Billings Mustangs are set to start playing baseball earlier than ever this spring. Scott's been following the updates for the last several months and brings us the latest.
January here in Montana, too early to start thinking baseball? Absolutely not, especially considering what Mustangs fans have been through over the duration of the last year. We told you back in November the Mustangs will be back, but no longer an affiliate of the Cincinnati Reds. They're instead playing in a Major League Baseball partner league. This means a longer season with a much earlier start. Mustangs unveiling their Pioneer League schedule Wednesday, set to showcase 96 games instead of 76. First pitch May 22nd, nearly a month sooner than ever.
It's another step toward, this new arrangement becoming reality.
The Mustangs' first home game will be on a Wednesday night, May 26th. That'll be against the Rocky Mountain Vibes. Further scheduling details reveal the Mustangs, along with all Pioneer League teams, will play 10 additional home games.
The checklist that you say, Scott, is number one on that checklist is going to be players and coaches and a manager. For me, that's the most important part of this new arrangement, this new structure. It's our responsibility to go get our own players and our own coaching staff, and we will.
You say concern. Is there a little part of you in there that feels like Theo Epstein or Billy Beane, or hey, I get to go out and make some moves now?
Quite honestly, I don't want to go make some moves. I've never had to do that. I think if I had to, we'd figure out a way. But there's more qualified people to do that than myself.
Standard start time for all home games will be 6:30 with the exception of holiday showdowns. And there's a new team on board over in Idaho, the Boise Hawks, who make an appearance in Billings the week of July 21st.
They were not extended an invitation by Major League Baseball to become part of the 120. So they were left in no man's land. And it just so happens, as Orem was moving to Windsor this year, and it left an opening for Boise.
And Gary tells us the Mustangs hope to hire a manager sometime soon. That'll do it for sports. At Dealer Park, Scott Breen, MTN Sports.
All right, thanks so much, Scott. Now, if you'd like to look at the full Mustang schedule, we've shared it on this story at montanasports.com. Up next on tonight's MTN 530 News on Q2, a space mission that all eyes were on in 1986 that quickly turned tragic. We talk with Montana astronaut Lauren Acton about the Challenger space shuttle disaster.
And after another chilly start, temperatures started to break loose as we got into the afternoon. We were a little warmer than average, up into the mid-40s. And while we haven't added any new precipitation now, I'll tell you about the next chance of snow with the forecast coming up.